Project lifecycle. To begin with, a project is a temporary endeavor that has clear goals and objectives, as well as a specific timeframe for completion. In other words, a project has clear deliverables, development and quality criteria, as well as acceptance requirements specified from the start. Some examples of clear deliverables could be providing fiber connectivity between two buildings, splicing a 50-kilometer cable route, or installing fiber cabling for interconnecting 10 pieces of electronic equipment distributed throughout a building facility. In other words, specific closed-ended activities or products, instead of open-ended. On the other hand, one example of development requirements and quality criteria in fiber projects could be that the fiber cable installed meets certain specifications, like fiber type and fiber count, and that it delivers a specific level of optical transmission performance once installed. According to the Project Management Institute, PMI, project management is commonly broken down into 5 process groups: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and controlling, and closing of the project. Although this framework describes a typical project's lifecycle, not all organizations use or call them exactly the same. Therefore, it is important to be open and flexible to adapt your approach to your customers' needs. Though some might assume that the main phase in the project lifecycle is the execution phase, all phases are equally important. While good planning is critical for ensuring that everything needed is in place for the project execution to go smoothly, the closeout process ensures that the customer receives the products, services, deliverables, and outcomes with the expected quality, as well as ensures that all project requirements have been met for project handover and commitment fulfillment. Now that we have a broad view of the project lifecycle and its phases, let's take a look at each of them individually. Initiation phase. The Project Management Institute identifies a project's lifecycle into 5 phases, starting with the initiation phase. In the initiation phase, the project manager or team gathers inputs to identify goals, creates a project scope of work, also known as SOW, develops an initial planning framework and coordination structure, and then integrates these pieces into the project charter. The primary goal of this phase is to create a solid project charter, which is basically a document with a detailed project proposal, used for securing approval, funding, and support from the project sponsor, sponsor group, or other key stakeholders. By the way, the sponsor or sponsor group are the ones who will own and fund the project. Therefore, they are ultimately the main ones to answer to. During the initiation phase, project managers present the purpose and business case of the project to stakeholders for approval, backed by thorough research on feasibility and resources required. According to PMI, the business case typically comprises 3 components: business need, project justification, and business strategy. For example, in a fiber-to-the-home project, the initiation phase could involve research and gathering consumer and business information to determine the project's size, required resources, feasibility, and potential risks. Additionally, validating assumptions with a high-level design performed with existing records, or mapping and simulation software, can provide a more accurate estimation of the time, effort, materials, and other resources needed for the project. It's essential to conduct thorough research and validate general assumptions during the initiation phase, and explore multiple project implementation approaches to identify the best system solution and installation methods, ensure the project's success, and prevent any unforeseen issues or delays during the project's execution. In larger projects that require formal bidding process, such as most fiber-to-the-home or large enterprise projects, it is common for customers to issue a request for proposal, or RFP, to potential suppliers. The RFP allows suppliers to propose solutions that allow customers to explore available technology options, deployment methods, and make budgetary estimates. Customers can then analyze and make informed decisions regarding their projects based on these proposals. Once all the required information is gathered, a more detailed scope of work describing the work and deliverables of the project is developed, along with stakeholder management and communications plans. The final step is to create a project charter that includes the project goals, scope, resources, timelines, budgets, team structure, constraints, and risks to submit for sponsor approval. The charter can also help as an overarching compass throughout the project lifecycle to ensure that the purpose, goals, and project value are delivered according to plan. If the initiation phase reveals a strong business case and convinces stakeholders to approve the project charter, Then the project moves to the planning phase,